Welcome to another Battle of the Bands. It's been a long time since the last one, and we're here with probably the hardest one I've ever had to do. That's right, we're ranking two Funeral Doom giants, Evoken versus Esoteric. Two flawless bands where every single album is like a 10. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? This is stupid, Questy. But one of the commenters, I've forgotten the name, comment down if you're the one who suggested me to do it, and I thought, that's ridiculously difficult. Let's do it. So we are pitting Evoken against Esoteric. We're going from the debut all the way until the latest album, and we're pitting the albums against each other. Now I know one of the bands has an extra album, but just like we did on, I think, Slayer versus Metallica, or Morbid Angel versus, I can't even remember, Bolt Thrower, that's it. We'll mix them together, so 2 versus 1. We'll see what wins. So yeah, let's get started with the debut. And the debut, we have Embrace the Emptiness. Woo! Versus, now I need to read this one, Epistemological Despondency. I can never remember that. Both of these, flawless debuts. Both of these I listened to over and over and over again. But, there's always a but. There is a clear winner for this one because it is one of my favourites from the band, and the other one's just a really good album. And I'm going to go with Evoken. I'm going to go with Evoken for this one, Embrace the Emptiness. This is one of my favourites. It is probably like my top 2, top 1. I love it. It's got this such dark, depressing atmosphere. Evoken's more on the like depressing kind of side of things, where Esoteric's more on the like cosmic, just swirling through the void kind of side of things. So it's going to be interesting to pit them against each other. For this one, don't get me wrong, the debut for Esoteric is flawless, but it's just the mood on Evoken's debut. It's unparalleled, and it's probably the moodiest one they've ever done. So Evoken is the winner for the first matchup. Next up, Quietus, which is another classic by Evoken, versus the Pernicious Enigma by Esoteric. Now for this one, this is very hard. This is very hard because I love Quietus. I think Quietus is another gem in their catalogue. But, I do think it's a little overrated compared to some of their other albums. But the Pernicious Enigma is considered one of the best Esoteric albums, and it is one of the best Esoteric albums. It is just flawless from start to finish. I love it. It's going to go to Esoteric for this one. It's like 2 hours of just brain-melting funeral doom. It's like, it's out there, I don't want to say it, but spacey. Swirling vortex of madness in space, like an astronaut just falling through the void and there's numbers, mathematician stuff around you. That's what it feels like. I love it. It's one of the best albums of all time. It's a trip and a half, and it can't be missed. So this is going to go to Esoteric for this one. It's a flawless album that has to be in any Funeral Doom collector's collection. Next up we have Metamorphogenesis, which is another good one. Verse is The Antithesis of Light by Evoken. And you all know me. You know what I'm going to choose for this one. I love Metamorphogenesis. It's a tongue twister and a half. But it is last on my ranking for Esoteric, whereas The Antithesis of Light is first for Evoken. So we'll go with Evoken again for this one. From the art to the sound itself, it feels like you are like in the trenches. It's depressing, it's down, it's dark, you're in some caves, there's like skeletons everywhere. You're kind of suffocating with the weight of the music. That's what this album delivers. It's my favourite. It's probably one of my favourite Funeral Doom albums of all time. And if I had to pit that against my favourite Esoteric album, which we'll get to soon, I don't think there'll be a winner. I just think there'll be loads of casualties. So, yeah, winner for this one, Evoken. Next up is a really hard one. Caress of the Void by Evoken versus Subconscious Dissolution into the Continuum. I remembered that one for some reason. By Esoteric. This is the hardest one so far because both of these are fantastic. Both of these are like on the same level for me. It's hard to actually pick one. Caress of the Void is fantastic. It has that same kind of moody atmosphere as like Atremors or as Antithesis of Light, where Subconscious is just as good as all the newer esoteric kind of albums, so I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the one I played the most. That's what it's going to have to be for that. This is hard, man. You have to go with the one I played the most, which is Subconscious Dissolution by Esoteric. Just as a fact, if I'm going to play one over the other, I will pick Subconscious. It just has, I don't know, it has a deeper meaning to me, so I'm going to pick that one. Esoteric is the winner. Next up, At Tremors, a classic, amazing album, one of my favourites by Evoken. It's just so moody. Versus The Maniacal Veil by Esoteric, which is probably my favourite Funeral Doom album. It is easily my favourite Esoteric album, and it's just one of the greatest albums of all time, so you know it's going to go to Esoteric for this one. Maniacal Veil, it's I want to say it's not even close, but it is, because At Tremors is just a 10 out of 10 as well. It's too hard to compare, but I gotta give it to my boy, Maniacal Veil. Like the swirling vortex you see on the album cover is what you feel when you're listening to it, falling deeper and deeper into madness. It's amazing. Just like I said, if I pitted this one against Antithesis of Light, I don't know which would win. I don't know. But I think Maniacal Veil would win by a hair. So it's got to go to Esoteric for this one as well. And next up, last one, we have Hypnagogia, which is a kind of different album for Evoken. It's a bit of a lighter sounding album, less depressing. It's still moody, but it has a bit of a hopeful feel to it, so it's quite refreshing in the catalogue. Versus, I've forgotten what it's called, Paragon of Dissonance. I got my things written down here, Paragon of Dissonance, which is another fantastic album. I think even a step up from the previous, no, not step up from the previous Esoteric, a step up from Subconscious Dissolution. This is hard, man. This is hard. Both albums are flawless. This is the decider one. It is the decider one, and I don't know. I think I love them both. I think I'm going to go with the more unique, hopeful one, Hypnagogia, which is Evoken. So I think we have a tie. I think we have a tie right here. But we have one album remaining by Esoteric, which is the latest album they did, which is A Pyrrhic Existence, which I got the shirt for. I'm not wearing it now, but I got the shirt for that. And if I was going to pit that one against Hypnagogia to, let's secure a winner. The previous battle, stalemate. Let's secure a winner with this one. Pyrrhic Existence versus Hypnagogia. What's going to win? Pyrrhic Existence. It's got to go to Esoteric. I can't even say the name right. I want them both to win. But Esoteric is going to win overall because the latest Esoteric album just blew me away instantly. Got the shirt for it. Like, starting off with a 20-minute song straight away, it's insane how heavy, how crushing some of the parts are on this album, and how beautiful some of the parts are as well. I love Hypnagogia as well, trying something different and being a unique sound, but Esoteric is the winner of this Battle of the Bands. So that was ridiculous. That was one of the hardest ones I've ever had to do. Let me know down below who would win for you, what band do you prefer, and what do you think of my list? Let me know, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.